We've spent the entirety of Domain 2 building a fortress, focusing on proactive security to prevent bad things from happening. But in the real world of IT support, things still break. So now we pivot from prevention to reaction. Welcome to Domain 3, Software Troubleshooting. We're starting with the heart of it all, the most common problems you'll face in the Windows operating system. This is your rapid-fire review of Objective 3.1. First up, the most infamous error of all, the blue screen of death, or BSOD. This is a critical stop error, where the OS shuts down completely to prevent damage, usually due to bad hardware or a faulty driver. The screen will give you a stop code, which is your primary clue. If the system won't reboot, try booting to the last known good configuration or using System Restore. Next is Degraded Performance. If a system is running slow, your first stop is the Task Manager. Check the Performance tab for spikes and sort the Processes tab to find any applications that are hogging the CPU, memory, or disk. Also, make sure Windows is updated, the disk isn't full, and if it's a laptop, check if it's plugged in. Performance is often throttled on battery power. Then we have boot issues, where the computer says operating system not found. The first thing to check is if a bootable USB drive was left plugged in. If not, the Windows Startup Repair tool can fix most common issues automatically. For more advanced problems, you may need to use the recovery console and run the command bootrec/rebuildbcd to manually rebuild the boot configuration database. Sometimes a system is just unstable, with frequent shutdowns or random application crashes. This often points to a hardware problem. Run a full hardware diagnostic, especially on the memory. You can also use the built-in System File Checker, or SFC, to scan for and repair corrupt Windows OS files. If you get a message that service is not starting, open the Services app. Check if the service has any dependencies, other services that must be running first. Also verify the account permissions for that service. If it's a Windows service, run SFC. If it's part of an application, your best bet is to reinstall that application. For application crashes, your primary tool is the Event Viewer, which logs every action and error in Windows. For a more user-friendly view, check the Reliability Monitor, which tracks an application's stability over time. Low memory warnings mean your RAM is full. Open Task Manager to see what's using all the memory. Windows manages this by using virtual memory, which is a paging file on your hard drive that acts as slow overflow RAM. You can check its configuration in your advanced system settings. If you get a USB controller resources are exceeded warning, it means you've plugged in too many complex devices for the controller to handle. The quickest solution is to simply unplug the device and try it in a different USB port, which may connect it to a separate controller on the motherboard. In a corporate environment, a slow profile load is almost always a network issue, caused by latency when syncing a roaming user profile. This is a problem for the domain administrator to solve. And finally, time drift. A computer's clock will naturally become inaccurate over time. To fix this, just make sure Set Time Automatically is enabled in the Windows Time and Language settings so it can sync with a time server. To summarize the key tools, for performance, use Task Manager. For boot issues, use Startup Repair and bootrec. For system file corruption, use SFC. And for application crashes, start with the Event Viewer and Reliability Monitor.